Hello and welcome to the lesson on how to use simple formulas in Excel. What we're going to start off with is a data set we created in our lesson 2, how to create a data set in Excel. So if you want to go watch that video first or download the data set from our website, that will get you in the same spot where this video starts. So ultimately we have our sleep study. We have the 3 friends that partook, and we're looking for some general summary statistics on exactly what happened. For example, how many records we have for this sleep study, how many hours people slept, what's the minimum amount people slept, the maximum, what's the average. Certain things you might be interested in if you're trying to start doing some diagnostic work on a small study or a spreadsheet you have. So there's a couple tricks with formulas. One is that you can use the formula function fx right up here. And when you click on this, there's a box that opens up saying type a brief description of what you want. If you want to try here and say count, what it will do is it will start and then click go. It will give you all of the formulas that use some sort of count and a description down here about exactly what they do. So that's one way to start, specifically if you don't know the formula. Otherwise, you type an equal sign, and you can start typing, and you see as I type in the formula bar right up here, it starts populating with some functions that start with the letter C. And if I keep counting, you'll see count populates right there. So if I double click on that or keep typing, now it's going to ask me value 1, 2, and 3. If you go into the function, you'll also see this. Count value 1, count value 2. So you can also use this guided user interface if you want as well. However, we're going to teach you how to use actual formulas in Excel. So if I want to count, you see I'm in between the parentheses. It also works if I just have the open parenthesis. And I grab what I want to count. So here I'm going to grab the column hours of sleep. Now you see up here it populated 2 things, F2 to F22. Remember how we learned how to read a spreadsheet. F2 to 22 means the cells that it's grabbing. So you see here in the little box that's kind of highlighted and with a little animation, these are the data points we're gathering. So if I close the parenthesis and complete that, it will say I have 21 data points. Now it's only going to count numeric, and you'll know that if you read the function description. But what it says is I have 21 data sets for 3 people for a week. That makes sense. 3 times 7 is 21. Now let's do sum. So same thing here. I know sum is just SUM. However, if you start typing it, it will give you some examples. I get to sum and I open the parentheses. Now another trick to do is you can actually grab an entire column, because remember it only sums numeric. So if I just click on F, you see this little arrow drops down. I click on the entire column. And you see up here in the function, it doesn't give me the cell number, the cell numbers that it's in, just the F because it's grabbing the entire column. The benefit of this is if we ever add to our data set, this formula will automatically pick things up, where the count formula we did will actually stop after 21 records. So if I close the parenthesis here, you'll see there are 147 hours of sleep in our study. Same thing here if we want to do min. So let's just type in min. You see min pops up. I'm going to grab the entire column. Now, if I want to make sure that this formula doesn't change, I'm going to freeze it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click F4. So if you click F4 on your keyboard, you see it puts dollar signs in front of the F. Click it again, dollar signs go away. If the dollar sign is before something, it means that cell is frozen. That means as you drag things around, paste at different areas, that will always point to column F. So this is just a way, as you get more advanced, you can actually freeze things. So you see the min is 2. And if we go down and grab, looks like Kenny on September 4th, which is a Wednesday, only slept 2 hours that night. So that's pretty rough. Same with max. You start typing in max, and you learn the function is just called max. I'm going to grab just the cells, similar to how we did in count, because I want to show you what this freeze looks like. If I click F4, you see it puts a dollar sign before the F and before the 2. If I click it again, you see it only has the dollar sign before the numbers. This means only the rows are frozen. I know this is a lot, so just take some time to think about it. If I click it again, you see the dollar is before the F. That means only the column is frozen. So again, this is a little bit more advanced techniques, but what we're going to do is we're just going to freeze the entire thing. So I'm going to click F4 until there's a $sign before the F and a $sign before the 2. You can type this in as well. I just think it's a little bit more error prone to type it in rather than using F4, which is the key to freeze cells, columns, or rows. So it looks like maximum 14. It looks like Michelle on Sunday night slept 14 hours. That is pretty awesome. I wish I could sleep 14 hours. So same thing here, average. If you start typing it in, you see it populates. You notice average is right here. You click on it, it'll open it up. We're going to grab the entire column because that's my preference. We don't need to freeze this because we live on the edge. And as we click enter, it looks like the average hours of sleep for a night is 7 hours. Now, obviously, this doesn't get us everything we want. These are just summary statistics. If you're thinking ahead, you might think, well, it doesn't matter. I want to know how much, the min, max, and the average for each person in the study. And that's a great point. We'll actually get into that in the next lesson when we look at sum ifs, average ifs, and count ifs. So come on back and we'll take this sleep study one step further.